Magi, and they still can. They've got the puck over mid, Omni Knight in the 3, Ogre in the 5, Phoenix 4.
10 seconds remaining.
That should be F1 in the Dark Willow,
remaining.
as well as Silencer there for X Nova. So we'll see how this last bands go as they take the Slark out of the hands of Eurus, which would have worked a bit well there with the Ogre Magi Bloodlust. So Vici thinking about their final ban as they also get the last pick first, or they 5th pick first.
5 seconds remaining.
So Vici, what's the game plan? What are you trying to get rid of? Because they still need a mid. TA still available. Kunkka looking available as well. Maybe we see them fall back into a Somnus DK, or you've also got the Ember Spirit that is still free for them. And as well as Huskar still being available. That's not something that we usually see slip through the cracks of these drafts, and that's with Ancient Apparition not getting picked for either side. TA gets banned. Puck's here mid already for Vici. They'll go to the Faceless Void and finally finish off what looked to be that way the entire time. And from there, LGD going to the DK.
Choose your hero.
So this time, Somnus on the DK, FY on the Dark Willow, X Nova on the Silencer, Chalice playing that Lifestealer Old 11 on the Centaur. For Vici Gaming, Faceless Void, Eurus, Ori on the Puck, Yang on the Omni Knight, DY back on the Ogre Magi for what feels like the 10th game tonight, even though there's only been 5, and PYW on the Phoenix. So yeah, certainly feeling like in some ways that we've just seen so many repeat heroes here for Vici.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So we'll see who will take this game 3 between Vici and LGD. Sitting here at 7 in the morning, just about. Poured some cold water on myself. Probably not the smartest move, but trying to wake up a little bit here to give you as much energy and excitement as I can. So we'll see who could pull ahead 2-1 in this best of 5 series. As I mean, the game 2 from LGD looked pretty good, and quite honestly, there were good takeaways from game 1. You know, that did take them 53 minutes to lose. They brought themselves back from a couple of big deficits. Things weren't all bad throughout that entire game, and I think there were things that, honestly, LGD could pull away from that give them some good fortune coming forward. Don't forget to change the overlay not long this time. And here we are.
Prepare for battle.
So let's see what you guys think inside the chat. Give me a 1 for Vici and a 2 for LGD. Who you think is going to win? Actually, you know what? I can do this so much easier. I don't even have to spam the chat anymore. There's this amazing feature inside the chat. Who do you think will win? LGD, Vici, game 2. I'll give you 5 minutes, guys. Let's see. Bam. We'll take a pull. Awesome. I love that feature. I should be doing that for every game. What did I write? Game 2? I meant Game 3. Don't make me end the poll and restart it. Because I will. You know what?
The battle begins.
New poll. There you go. We're restarting. So, with Game 3 starting off here, got ourselves even bounty rune split. Although, I think in Game 1, LGD got away with 3 bounty runes. That's like the first time I had seen it not go 2-2 split in quite some time. So, Chalice up here with X Nova to start this off. And that means in the bottom lane, you've got the Centaur with the Dark Willow. And FY goes into the Bramble Maze first. And it's the Retaliate for Old 11. So, definitely setup potential where if you land a hoof stomp, you get the Bramble Maze down. Maybe level 2, you go to the Cursed Crown. You've got yourself some follow-up stun as well. Certainly a lot of lockdown in this lane that can lead to a couple of kills, especially if you pop the Retaliate stacks and you've got that Bramble Maze to go along with the Cursed Crown. So I'm interested to see, because we've seen Centaur with different combinations. We see Centaur with the Rubik, or we see, Centaur with the Lina, or Centaur with the Shadow Shaman. I'm excited to see this combination here of the Centaur as well as the Dark Willow. So, how this lane will go for LGD here with Old 11 and FY. X Nova taking a lot of damage, and that's from the Fire Spirits coming through from PYW. X Nova sitting pretty low, and oh boy, they really want to get this kill. They've got Yang coming over, diving the tower. PYW doesn't have Icarus dive, and the Heavenly Grace is there, but they've got the last word. That's out onto the Phoenix. Doesn't do enough damage. They'll chase after Yang. Somehow, the Phoenix surviving. The Heavenly Grace level 1 enough to keep him alive. I really thought for a second PYW had overextended, but gets a little bit of help there from Yang. That early level 1 Heavenly Grace giving you that bonus strength as well as the HP regen, just enough there, especially to eat through the last word from the Silencer. And Chalice just came back to help his Silencer as X Nova was sent with 50 health, so he was able to survive. You've got the salve ready there on the Lifestealer as well as the headdress out for X Nova. He's also got himself the Tango, so that bonus regen to him and his allies, as well as Tango's to try and just stay healthy here. So Bramble Maze comes out once again, takes that level 2 into the Shadow Realm Strike. We'll see if level 3 is another in Bramble Maze or the Shadow Realm Strike, or if they want to go into the Cursed Crown. Meanwhile, towards top, Fire Spirits come out again on X Nova. The Silence, though, is there on the Phoenix. Icarus dive forward, looking to try and get this kill. X Nova TP's back to base, and your chase isn't worth it. Some value in sending him back. But ultimately, they don't get First Blood, is what I was going to say. Puck over at mid, up against this DK. And with the Illusory Orb, with the ability to jaunt over and move around very quickly, it'll be really hard for Somnus to control the runes. Doesn't go into a bottle like Ori does, but there's the Illusory Orb jaunt behind Somnus. Somnus not enough mana for that Dragon Tail or anything. He's just got passive going at the moment with the Dragon's Blood level 2. I do look for X-Nova to potentially come around the side of this, but nothing doing for him, and he'll head towards top. Meanwhile, we take a look back over bottom level 3. It will be level 2 into the Shadow Realm Strike, so no Cursed Crown, just dealing with the higher damage output, as well as the Bramble Maze that they want to set up with a Double Edge, not a Hoof Stomp, as well as a Retaliate. This is one way to potentially get through these heroes over bottom. So, Somnus in the Elder Dragon form. He's level 6, just the second before Ori is, who now has that Dream Coil ready. Finally skills it up. And they did get the first blood bottom onto Faceless Void. Took a look over top for a second. They got the Dream Coil as well as the Ignite. They'll get the kill here on Old 11, so they do end up trading, which usually in trades that involve the first blood end up being worth it for the team that gets the first blood, and you see a little bit of gold going advantageously to LGD. So they'll bring back this Eurus Faceless Void. Now over in the river though, Dragon Tail comes in, and this is Ori in trouble. Nothing he could do except try and turn and fight. So they get the kill there onto this puck. And Ori gone for 20 seconds. Dealing with a bit of a problem there where he ends up dead and loses 2 int. But Eurus, there's certainly possibilities of getting another kill on the Faceless Void. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist without the Retaliate stacks, and he's only at 1 here on Old 11. Knight flies in, DY in trouble. Cursed Crown will get the stun. Got BYW nearby, but the Bramble Maze is right on top of DY, who makes some space between him and X-Nova with FY. Illusory Orb coming over, and Puck trying to find an option here. Gets the Dream Coil out over onto this Silencer, and they get both. Again, not having the ability to go into that split screen for myself. But Ori using that Dream Coil, rotating over. They get the kill on both supports. Gold swing there for the side of Vici as they start to lead a little bit. They've got the Waning Rift through on the Dragon Knight. That'll stun him up for a moment. Or, not stun him up, silence him up for a moment. Ultimately, not a big deal. Meanwhile, Chalice surviving. Goes to the Rage. And infests into the creep.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So Chalice finally pops out. He's farming right now up top by himself. He's 37-3 to the 52-7 of this Omni Knight, who's sitting about half a level ahead. And for Chalice, this has become a bit of a nightmare, where Yang is constantly on top of you. He's got this Soul Ring ready to go, level 4 in the Purification. So things looking suitable here for Yang in this lane. Dragon Tail comes in onto the Faceless Void. Last word, as well as the Arcane Curse, will force him back, but he just walks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Back towards the top. Oops, Stampede used. Through towards bottom. X-Nova gets out of this one. They've got the Fire Blast out onto Somnus. It's a little bit of a back and forth that doesn't lead to anybody dying just yet. X-Nova now needs to try and leave as the TP overs from Ori. So Ori here in Viz, maybe looking to throw an Illusory Orb to jump to the back lines to get the kill here onto the Silencer. They don't have the Stampede to work with. The Waning Rift comes through, as well as the Chronosphere out onto 2. And is this enough damage? They've got the silence through onto DY. Hoof Stomp. They are not getting the help from the Lifestealer, who's staying over towards top. And they're going to continue to give chase to try and get at least one kill on the side of Vici. They finally take out Old 11. So everybody rotating here for the side of Vici, and this will leave Chalice to his own accord in the top lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under
For Vici, I feel like that is maybe something that you would like to go a little bit better. You use the Chronosphere. You would like to maybe kill off more than just the Centaur.
Time is money.
Open wounds. And X-Nova coming around. Time walk onto the high ground, but now he's silenced into the hands of Somnus. They've got the stun, and he doesn't have Time Walk to work with anymore, and he'll end up dead.
Radiant's
So
bottom
Chalice
tower
gets the
is under
kill,
attack.
and Chalice boosts up that net worth. He's sitting now still behind the puck. Actually, top of the net worth right at this moment is the Omni Knight, and that's not really too much of a surprise. The thing really hindering the Faceless Void in that moment is the fact that that's just a level 1 Time Walk. So, that puts you on a 24-second timer where you're very susceptible to everything LGD is going to throw your way. And on top of that, it's just Somnus being ready on the high ground, expecting the Time Walk to come that direction. And that's the exact direction it ends up going. It feels very greedy for the Faceless Void to go all into the Time Walk, or Time Lock, and only one into the Time Walk.
Radiant's middle tower
But gets these bashes out onto Chalice. Open wounds comes through. Eurus trying to man fight Chalice for the moment. This may not be the way to play it, but he still does have that Time Walk. Chalice and Eurus fight back and forth, right-clicking away, and neither hero backing down. Meanwhile, PYW does pop that Supernova.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
It certainly felt if like one person had come over, they would have been able to get something out of that. But there's the Arcane Curse coming through. Bashes out onto Chalice. They do have the Chronosphere available. They will use it. Can they keep the Lifestealer alive? He can't stay up as the Illusory Orb comes across just at the last moment. And within the Chronosphere, they get the kill. But that's a lot committed over towards top just to get the kill onto the Lifestealer, while the rest of the team continues to farm and tries to patch up where they're losing gold on that death. Stampede, Somnus, Dragon Tail hits, but well, Phoenix hit with the Hoof Stomp, doesn't have Icarus Dive to work with. PYW getting low, and FY comes through with the Shadow Realm Strike to get the kill. Bedlam on top of DY, this Ogre melts through. LGD with a double kill, FY getting credit for it. Shadow Realm Strike as well as Bedlam does enough damage to get through these two heroes. So it's FY on this Dark Willow. Not one of the heroes that he's truthfully known for, but if you've watched him in the past, it's certainly one that he knows how to play pretty well. So X-Nova trying to get to that level 6 as quickly as possible. Having that global silence would be huge for this LGD team fight potential. X-Nova forced to TP away. The damage from the right clicks coming in on to him from Yang.
Radiant are scanning.
Scan comes in for the Radiant. That hits on the Dire, of course, with
Dire's
Old
top
11
tower is under
pushing
attack.
in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
He'll grab
attack.
himself some Retaliate stacks. He's got FY nearby as well as Chalice. Trying to hope that somebody rotates over, but instead,
Dire's top
towards
tower
top,
is under
LGD
attack.
giving chase. Ori and Yang, they're easily walking away. So just 6-5 this early on. Top of the net worth now is Old 11. Bramble Maze comes down. TP out from Ori. Easy escape. Nova still looking for 6. He's the lowest level in this game by a little bit. DY just recently hit 6. PYW building into that spirit vessel. Normal build there for the Phoenix. Old 11, he's got the hood finishing off the pipe. And then afterwards should be the blink dagger unless he changes his mind and wants the blink dagger beforehand. They'll go towards bottom. They'll look over. PYW now on the run. Icarus Dive comes out. And he's got the open wounds on him, but Yang is here to help him out if need be. Entire time now, Somnus coming through with the Elder Dragon form. DY, he's stunned up. They had you ready. And they're going to look for more. They've got the Sentry Ward down on the high ground. Bramble Maze comes in. Faceless Void brambled up. They've got the stun out onto the Ogre Magi, but it's not going to be enough. The Cursed Crown, now they're looking for the Chronosphere, but the Cursed Crown actually stuns up this Faceless Void. They've got the Global Silence coming out now, and the Chronosphere committed to the Centaur. And they get the kill. The Terrorize comes in. They take out DY. Ursus Courier goes down as he's running within the fear. They'll have the Infest getting popped. The Double Edge comes through. They'll get the kill on a Urus. Now they'll look for a +1 is Yang. He shows up, maybe trying to help out the Faceless Void, but he's a little bit too late. Bramble Maze on the trees, and now you got to traverse the maze and hope that you don't get caught. X-Nova on the backlines ends up dead, but they get the kill on a Yang, and now they look over at Ori, who's trying to run away. He used that Illusory Orb to finish off X-Nova on the Silencer. But you've lost 3 heroes in that exchange, and it doesn't really work out as well as you would have hoped. So LGD come out ahead. They're up 2,000 net worth. Felt like a decent fight for them.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Not sure what just unplugged. So OGD will take the outpost back. You've got X-Nova, who did use that Global Silence. Finally hit that level 6 before that team fight. Meanwhile, bottom, Somnus, he'll also lock down the outpost in this bottom lane. Try for it again. Maybe a third time. Could be the charm. Old 11 gets hit with the Fire Blast, but they've got Somnus coming through with the Elder Dragon form. There's the Dragon Tail out onto Yang. He's trying to run, but they've got themselves the Terrorize as well as the Bramble Maze. That locks up a couple. The Global Silence follows this up. Faceless Void needs to leave. Old 11 used that Stampede right on top of them. Get the kill out onto Yang. Cost them the Global Silence as well as the Stampede. Elder Dragon form popped regardless, just to fight or push. Not the worst skill on out to use very freely. Oh, they found X-Nova. Urus gets the kill there.
Past tense.
Old 11 now going into the Blink Dagger, just 50 gold away. Finds Ori. just a slim lead right now for LGD. Somnus going into the BKB. You've got Lifestealer for the Heaven's Halberd. He's got Phase Boots as well as the Armlet ready to go. But you take a look over at Eurus, who time walks forward. Bramble Maze is down, and that locks up Eurus for a second, but he's got that Heavenly Grace on him from Yang, and that really keeps him from being halted for too long. Blink Dagger finally picked up for Old 11. This is usually the turning point for most Centaurs. Maybe not for the game, but for most Centaurs, when you're able to have that longer initiation come through. Get out with the Blink Hoof Stomp from more of a distance away. Somnus comes in with the Shadow Blade. They've got the Sentry down early. DUI, Fire Blast, Dragon Tail hits onto DUI though. Before this, now they got the Silence as well as the Stampede getting used, but the Dream Coil comes in. They'll look for the Terrorize. They've got themselves the Chronosphere. There's the Terrorize coming in, as well as the Global Silence. So now they get the kill on the DUI. They look over at Eurus. He'll time walk away. They find themselves Yang not over by himself, but the Sunray won't keep him alive. It was Ori nearby, but, well, he just needs to try and leave. X-Nova with FY near on this puck, but they won't get the kill onto Ori, although it feels like he's really not doing all too much. Blink as well as the Hoof Stomp coming through into PYW, and then the Double Edge follows it up. They've got the first hit bash out on Old 11. The time dilation gets used by Eurus, trying to force back this Centaur. And, well, now Chalice and X-Nova are here, if you look and feel so inclined to continue pushing back Old 11. So things for LGD starting to open up. FY ends up dead. Ori gets the kill, finds a courier as well. Oh boy, that's the Yule's recipe as well as a Tome of Knowledge. FY losing his life and his courier's life.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
$5,000 net worth lead right now for LGD. Heaven's Halberd after this Desolator. You've got Somnus moving forward on that BKB. He's been with the Shadow Blade for quite some time, sitting a little bit behind of where Old 11 is. He's going for Halberd as well. Dream Coil comes out, doesn't stop the TP over though from Chalice as well as Old 11, who will get the kill there on the Eurus. They have the combination of the Infest as well as the Hoof Stomp coming through onto this Faceless Void to get the kill. Meanwhile, over bottom, use the Guardian Angel to keep this puck alive. Somnus getting chased by Yang. I don't know if that was the right decision to make, though. Now he's hit with the Terrorize as well as the Bramble Maze. He's locked down. The Fire Blast multicast out onto the Dragon Knight, but still, they can't get the kill into Somnus, and Chalice moving forward. He was within the rage for a moment. They find themselves Ori, but he phase shift and blinks away. Gets the Illusory Orb and find some distance between him and the side of LGD. A lot of these heroes sitting on half health or lower here for Vici. And LGD definitely making their presence felt. They're continuing to posture up and extending that net worth lead.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's courier has been killed.
Shift, Ori found again. Commit to Bedlam, and finally they get the kill with the Shadow Realm Strike. But brings them on quite the wild ride. Quite some time to get there. Now they've got the Heaven's Halberd finished off on the Lifestealer. So Chalice now moving into a Basher and then an AC. They've got the Yules picked up for the Dark Willow. Somnus still building into the BKB, but he's not too far away from it. And the answers here for Vici, at least for the moment, is how much time can we buy to feel the effects from Eurus in this game? took him so long to get Mask of Madness as well as the Battle Fury, and now he's going into the Manta style. He's sitting top of the net worth here for his team, but his presence at times has not exactly felt like it was a big deal. And that's mainly due to the fact that FY has almost neutered him within the Chronosphere. Throws down the Chronosphere. If FY is not in it, terrorize right onto the Faceless Void, and now you're running. Not doing any damage within the Chronosphere. Infest pop. They get the kill on a Eurus again with the Global Silence being used. Somnus comes over with Chalice infested in him to get the kill on the Faceless Void. And it's an 8,000 net worth lead. They're pinching on Ori for a second. They've got the Arcane Curse. Old 11 looking to line up the Hoof Stomp. But the Yules comes in from Ori, and now they've got the Heavenly Grace. So Arcane Curse gets purged off with that. They'll use the Stampede to try to cut the distance between them and Yang. They've got the Hoof Stomp now with the Double Edge and the Dragon Tail to get the kill here onto the Omni Knight. And it's 10,000 net worth lead here for LGD over Vici.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But we get that pause. Or a quick one. I think we're good to go. So he'll pick up the Yasha, and now he'll turn his attention on going into a BKB instead. So 15 to 10 LGD though, leading the way by quite a bit. Got the Shadow Blade, they have the BKB, 10 seconds available for the DK. Goes into the Shadow Blade, looks over at Yang. There's the Dragon Tail as well as the Infest game pop. Battle him right on top of him. Easy kill on a Yang. Dead Yang once again. They're going to rip through this tower. They've got themselves the Aegis onto the Lifestealer. How quickly do they really need to stop? They might even go towards the high ground right now. Chronosphere is available, but again, FY ready in wait with this Terrorize. You have to hit FY to really make it matter. Bramble Maze comes out, and all of a sudden the triple cast on the Chalice gets him really low. DY loses that courier with the telescope on it. Now Chalice needs to heal up by hitting a couple of creeps over in the neutral camp nearby. Old 11 will be ready to jump in on this. There's the blink as well as the double edge coming through on a DY. Do they have the last shot? Yes, they do. So they get the kill into the Ogre Magi. Meanwhile, Eurus just isn't here. He's allowing this mid-center axe to go down. Icarus Dive comes out as well as the Supernova. Now they'll look for the Chronosphere, but it's a huge whiff this time. It's not the Rubik like I screwed up in the previous game, but Eurus, he completely whiffs the Chronosphere, and now it's LGD who have free reign all over the base of Vici. Oh boy. They pop the Infest, they look for the Terrorize, that's hitting onto the Phoenix. Mules is out onto the DK, but this is looking like the beginning of the end here for Vici in game 2. They'll find the kill onto the Faceless Void, he's got buyback. The Dream Coil comes out onto 4, but it's not going to matter. Vici call GG. LGD take a 2-1 lead in this best of 5 final. And it just never felt like Eurus got off the ground, despite the fact that he was sitting top of the net worth for his team. And, I mean, that last part was just hard to watch as he whiffs that Chronosphere. I think the only one he hit it on was the Supernova of the Phoenix. It wasn't good. And Vici, they need to go back to the drawing board, figure out how to push this to a game 5, because it is 2-1 in favor of LGD. Chalice playing a really good game. Old 11 played a fantastic game on the Centaur, and Somnus 4-0-12. A picture perfect one for himself. FY, my MVP for this one. I think his terrorizes in the Chronosphere, making sure Eurus was neutered, were perfect. So we'll be back with game 4 in just a moment. I'm your caster BCop at BCop92 on Twitter. Follow me to know when I'm casting next. I'll give you a hint. It's this next game coming up in just a moment. We'll be back in 10 minutes or less. Stay right there. I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Appreciate casting for you guys. I always love bringing you some Dota. We'll be back in a second with Game 4.